everyone, I'm back. Today I will be doing another new album review. So, first, for those of you who watch videos on my channel, I'm going to put this release into context a little bit for you. So, back in the almost mid-90s, metal was slowing down. I've talked a lot in my other videos about how much I loved fast music with riffs and energy, and that's what I was still looking for in the mid-90s. But a lot of my favorite thrash metal bands and other bands like that, they were all kind of simplifying and slowing down, and some of it was good, but I was still out there searching for that speed and that riff. So in my search for speed and riffs, I ended up finding a lot of these California punk bands, a lot of which were on the label Fat Wreck Chords, and they sort of satiated my need for fast riff-oriented music. And one of those bands that I really loved back in the day, and I still do today, is the band Lagwagon. So Lagwagon formed around 1990 in California, but I didn't really get to know them until 1994 when Fat Records released the compilation Fat Music for Fat People. And the two songs, I believe it was two, of theirs on that comp, I totally loved. And I immediately went back to get their first two albums, Duh and Trashed. And I totally loved the fact that, sure, it was punk music, it was poppy, but there were little sprinkles of like riffs and a little bit of technical aspects in their music that just made them sort of stand out from some of the other punk bands at the time, and almost like tiny little nods to metal. And that went a long way with a dude like me who was a metalhead finding my way into this punk scene. So, skip forward to today, all of those elements that I loved about Lagwagon are still there and very much present on their new album, Railer, out today on Fat Records. So for those of you who already know Lagwagon and have been following them over the years, Railer is pretty much business as usual for Lagwagon. It's not that much different than their last album, 2014's Hang, which is not vastly different from a lot of the other albums they've done. They might be tightening things a little bit and getting a little bit more smart with their choices in their older age, because we're all getting fucking older, and I think we've all learned a lot from what we've been through, and it's very clear that Lagwagon also share that with the rest of us. So yeah, it is a very solid and very enjoyable album, but like I said, there's not really anything new here. Sometimes you'll hear a similar sounding riff to something you think you've heard them do before, or a vocal melody is very similar to something you've heard before. You know, you kind of know where it's going sometimes. But then occasionally, here and there, those little things are dropped in that you don't quite expect. And I think that's what Lagwagon is all about. It's about reading between the lines. Because if you're not really listening to the music, it can sort of just wash over you as, okay, I kind of get their vibe, I'm going to move on with my day. But if you're really listening to it, there's a lot going on in their songs. There's a lot more to unpack from a Lagwagon song than there is from a lot of other punk bands out there. But most importantly, Lagwagon is still just being Lagwagon. They have always been a pure and honest byproduct of the five individuals that are making the music. And yeah, you're still getting everything you would want if you already know Lagwagon. It's all there for you. There's plenty of fast shit. There's plenty of hooks. There's plenty of those reflective and thoughtful lyrics from Joey Cape. Plenty of riffs. Some of them really fucking great. Just listen to the beginning of Surviving California. I'll post that song down below in the link. So for those of you who don't know the band, maybe you can get an idea of what they sound like. And yeah, I know a lot of you that watch my channel regularly want the metal, and this may not be for you. But to be fair, if you kind of break it down and take a song like Wasted Years by Iron Maiden, if you take that and you take a song like my favorite off of this album, which is called The Suffering, if you break it down, there's not much of a difference. Sure, different guitar styles, different vocal styles, I mean, you could clearly make the divide between the punk and the metal, but it's energetic, it's loud, it's fast, there's riffs. For a dude like me, that's kind of all I really want. I'm very simple. And when it comes to an album like Railer, the most important thing at the end of the day is that I had a fucking good time. So, in conclusion, I dig this album. I don't do rating numbers or stars or any of that shit in case this is your first time watching me, but I recommend this album, especially if you're already a Lagwagon fan or a fan of that style of punk music, because it's a solid album, very enjoyable, great to see these guys still kicking ass even at this point. If you're not a fan, I'm going to post a link to the song Surviving California down below. Make up your own mind. And please let me know in the comments what you think, if you love this band, if you've heard this album, and what you think about it. And thank you again for watching me, and I will see you all again very soon.